It's actually wet here, so
it's very wet here too.
Oh my God, so it actually is wet everywhere. Hi, everyone.
hello.
Hi.
Oh my gosh. I'm Siris.
Okay, my name is Séverine.
And I'm Caroline.
And we were just talking about how it's wet everywhere that we live, even though we're in 3 different parts of the world right now. Oh gosh. And we'll just leave it at that being wet for right now to start off.
Good step, or the naughty step. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, we've been affectionately calling ourselves the Threesome Adventure Goddesses as we're preparing for this really cool adventure, this really cool journey that's starting in June. But first, I want to kind of throw it out there to people and to you all. Like, I've been looking at what has been helping me have more ease throughout my life. And books have been such a saving grace for me. And so I'm really looking forward to talking about books with our community and just how we can get even more messages from them. I truly, without exaggeration, can say that I wouldn't be here right now with y'all speaking about all the fun, all the reverence, all of the awareness and energies and just the travel and exploration if it wasn't for books. And not just in the general sense of all these pathways that were opened up, but also like I don't think I would have been alive. It really kept me sane throughout my childhood, my adolescence, and my young adulthood to have books to go to talk to. But for you all, what has been the thing that has helped you stay sane, and how does books connect with that, if anything, if it does connect with it?
Well, for me, as you, I was traveling with books and through books. And I remember how much books like through legends and fairy tales was teaching me something I was already looking for, but I wasn't always having the words to express the question. So I was being an energy of something, and my parents didn't always know how to answer that themselves. But I could find that in the books, or I could have a window of breathing something magical that I couldn't find in my life. And sometimes my life was just, so a book could be a fresh breeze of air.
Yeah.
It's interesting, isn't it, what it brings. When I was little and mum and dad went to town and my grandmother lived with us, so I was maybe at home, I never wanted sweeties. I wanted a colouring book. It was just like the colouring book. And it's like, I remember when I wasn't well one birthday and I got colouring books of people all over the world, and it was their costumes. And it was just like travelling into their worlds. And yeah, joy. And yes, every day I lived in a nice house and everything else. But as you say, Séverine, there are things that nobody gets about us, and we quite often don't get it. And sometimes a book will open that space within us that we begin to start that curious adventure, a bit like Alice in Wonderland, I guess, down the rabbit hole. But it's the rabbit hole and the warren of books, where it's kind of a safe space in a sense, because it's you I suppose that without necessarily having words for it, you can read as much, or you can go mad and read till 3, 4, 5 in the morning and think, oh damn, I wish I hadn't done that to finish the book.
You needed to. Sometimes you're like, I can't put this down.
and then you realize it was the middle book. Oh, goodness sake. I have another one to read. So it goes. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
And there's this piece of that both of you have mentioned that I wanted to add to is the things that I wouldn't have known of as possible, but that I was asking for. Like, I didn't know that open and poly relationships existed until I read this romance novel of people traveling throughout Europe on those like speed trains. and they had all these adventures, these experiences. And here I was in middle school, I think, and I had no idea that I would actually choose that for myself in my own way. Not haven't done it on a speeding train in Europe yet, but it was this ask of like earlier on, I knew that it was a possibility that a lot of people were like, man, I wish I had known this when I was in high school and college, because then I would have actually not judged myself for so many years over this thing that I desired that other people didn't seem to want. But I kind of was like, there must be something else. And so I wonder what these books that we'll be talking about over the course of our community discussions, if what will they will invite each of us to, because there's a lot of books in here. I think all of them except for the one I've chosen, I haven't read yet. I've definitely watched the Stardust movie, but I haven't read the book yet. I'm really looking forward to seeing the difference on that and what it will invite us to that maybe we've been asking for, but we're like, is this actually possible? And what is this ask? And sometimes it's just like these like little tendrils of something, but then we don't even know what it can actually form into until, oh, it's here. And am I choosing it now? Like, oh my gosh, it's already here and I love it.
But that's part of it, I think, isn't it? It's actually a lot of the time it's in plain view, but you didn't see it. And sometimes the book is the way you get to see what's already there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and the other piece too is the fact that it's a community. The people are going to make such a big difference. Like, I'm so excited. Anytime I get to talk and play with y'all and create with y'all, it's super happy making. But I also get that the people that are going to be in this community are those that are looking for what to pull on those cords and tendrils, to like be aware of more that's possible, to get more messages, not just from the books, but from every place and space and people that the books have in them that they can then receive from in a different way. Like every time I revisit certain books, I get another piece and I'm like, oh, there's more doors we can open here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And then there's the threesome adventures.
Well, that's going to be as dull as ditch water, obviously.
Love your expressions. As dull as ditch water. That's like the opposite of everything we are. So yes, I'm picking up sarcasm. I just have to process the expression. That's so great.
Well, I mean, we're just so the same as everybody else.
Yeah.
And everybody else is just,
we're really boring. We don't like talk about different things at all. Yeah. Well, and so one of the things I love is that, there's only so much we can get into, even though I know we're going to talk about a lot in our monthly meetups with the community hangouts and everything. And we're going to have these worldwide hosts. So I love it. It's every month we meet and we're going to have somebody else talk about a different book. I'm going to start with my first book here, Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. If you've read it, read it again with me. If you haven't read it, you definitely should. And it's for everybody. This isn't just for like young adults, even though it's written as a young adult level when it comes to vocabulary, but there's themes in there that I benefited from and I tore through the entire series as an adult. Like it was just one of those things where it was like, this is what I wish I had in my educational experiences. When I'm in schools and working with schools now, I wish they had this type of perspective on what's possible, of all of us having these different skills and then acknowledging them and ramping them up even more, of not judging ourselves for what's possible and what we're able to do and what we know about the world, and having this ancestral knowledge of, there's Greek mythology in there, and just, it's not just about us now, it's like everything and everyone that's come before us. I'm really excited to talk about all those different themes and all the other ones. There's so many more, but then I get to talk with you guys afterwards, and we'll do these extension calls where we go even deeper and maybe get a little bit friskier, because
we could unwrap a few things, maybe. I'm saying nothing because I've said it all before. And
I keep in my clothes. I'm not unwrapping.
Haven't heard it. Loredana saying hi, and Surendra. Hi, Surendra. Hi, Loredana.
Hey.
And I mean, it's like how many perspectives will be opened up in the call itself, and then we get to further unwrap it. I mean, how does it really get minxier and saucier than that?
Well, I'm gonna have drinks. Like, I'm gonna wait to the drinks until we're in our VIP lounge with like our threesome adventures. That's what I'm gonna wait for. That's like my like, okay, I'm gonna do the playfulness. I'm gonna talk about all these different things when it's my turn, when it's other hosts, and then where's my cocktail? Like, why is it in my hand right now? So while we're chatting, I might be mixing up some different drinks. I'm just saying. And I think wouldn't it be cool if we could do that, like a different drink, depending on the book too? Like the book can inform what the drink would be. There has to be something that has that
cocktail,
splash of energy. For the lightning thief, there has to be that, like maybe the one that goes in your mouth.
Yeah, or
that's
might
gonna be spicy.
It could be spicy. It could be tart, where it goes at the end. I don't know. I'm gonna ask the book and see what message it gives me.
That's witchy, it's a potion.
Yeah, and it might require dressing up or dressing down.
For me, it's usually
I'm
dressing
not unwrapping.
You're no fun. You're supposed to be French, darling.
I know. No, I'm French, so I was just so much in the love of the books, in the love of this song that all the books are singing to me. And there is something with the sky each time. The thunder, like the lightning. There is the stars, stardust, and from chaos, stars are born. Yeah. And also in The Alchemist, there's a part of the story that is in the desert, and when people are lost or when they are just tracking their way, they are guiding themselves with the stars, so they are never lost. So
I hadn't made that connection of all the books that we've chosen so far. Do have that there, this sense of lost and being found, and the celestial and the energetic and all that is guiding them and guiding us if we're willing to be found again and not be so lost. Wow, that's really beautiful.
And how much are each of the books an evolution, a maturing from Percy Jackson to, I know with the Stardust, you have a tale of romance and fantasy, but there are aspects that are in the everyday, and there are aspects of how much do we use walls and boundaries? And interesting enough, as I said before, there is a town called Wall. How much do we use a wall to separate us from what we actually would love and would expand our world? And it's a question of, are we willing to choose it? Are we willing to come and play with the books and actually invite the books to invite us to more?
Yeah, I'd like more.
Me too. I'm up for more.
I can never have enough.
You greedy bitch. Yes, okay.
I am greedy. And I love it when you call me a bitch. It's really happy making me feel.
Oh, you biatch, darling.
I'm a bitch, but yeah.
Oh, you're a cute bitch.
That. So, gosh, I mean, there's a lot more we can talk about, but we definitely wanted to say hi as the threesome adventure goddesses. We love having threesomes together, and maybe if you want, you can join our threesomes, and we can make them foursomes and fivesomes and tensomes and all of that. And I just big shout out to the co-hosts that have already joined our community, Greg Bryers and Megan Silito and Loredana Gaspari, and then Caroline and Séverine, and we have Imran Peter Farouk as well. And just say hi everyone. Thank you so much for contributing your energies, for watching us today. And if you have any questions about the messages from Books Community, just let us know. Maybe we'll pop in a couple more times before we start on June 10th to flirt with y'all a little bit more and to talk a little bit more about what books have contributed to us. But we really, really appreciate you checking in. Anything else we want to say, ladies, before we part ways?
My triggers are just swishing, and getting ready to play.
Your Tigger what?
Tails.
Your Tigger who?
Darling, I am not exposing them on Facebook. I would be censored. Please.
Oh,
Tails.
Later.
I'm
That's for
disappointed.
Well, see me later, darling. And we'll start talking.
That's what this VIP lounge is for. That's
Yeah,
for,
absolutely.
we're
Yeah.
Show our
having
tails and
conversation.
Swisher tails, and they're not like necessarily the 9 tails of the cats on the Pirates of the Caribbean, but could be, depending on your preference.
I do have experience with that. And I do have friends that might be watching that have lots of more experience with that. Yeah, come and play. Thanks, everyone. Bye
Thank
for
you.
now.
Bye. Bye.